Hi, this is Andy XL back with another NFXL podcast looking at the 2026 NFL draft. Now, I consider myself to be one of the most accurate, well, I know I am one of the most accurate predictors of NFL drafts over the last 3 to 4 seasons, if not the most accurate. I don't think you find anybody out there who's more accurate than me. In this class, in this one piece, I'm going to be looking at the cornerback class. Now, in the first 3 rounds of drafts this decade, the average number of corners taken is 13, four in the round one, and 9 more on day two. Is how that breaks down. I'll detail the top draft prospects in what looks like a pretty deep class, but may lack top end quality as we get into the 25 season. And the top candidate at the moment hasn't played yet this season. That's Jimod McCoy. He's hoping to get back for October the 11th, is the latest I've read. He's a junior at Tennessee, 6 foot, 193 pounds, 452.40. He transferred from Oregon State to the Vols following his freshman year, had 6 interceptions and 16 passes defended across the last 2 seasons. He is the leading prospect at cornerback. His instincts and competitiveness are of the highest level and mark him as a real ball hawking type, but he could improve his tackling techniques. So he's a top candidate, but there's still things that you'd like him to see work on. And add to that, he's had a torn ACL picked up in January that has meant he's not played up to this point this season, and he's hoping to get back. How he comes back from that injury will have huge draft implications. Unless he shows he's made a full and speedy recovery, he may even decide to stay in college rather than enter the 2026 draft, which would take some more top end quality out of this class if that happened. So the second guy I got on my list is Avion Terrell, a junior at Clemson, 5'11", 180 pound, 439.40. So he's definitely speedy. He's had 2 interceptions and 12 passes defended in his first full season in 2024. He looks like a tenacious player despite his lack of size, and that hard-heading mentality allows him to break up passes and force fumbles in both the pass and run game. Closing speed of a high level make up for his lack of size in many ways, but where he lands in the draft will depend on what type of corner teams are looking for in terms of size or speed. So I've only got two in round one at the moment, and they're the two guys. Round two, and the third guy up is AJ Harris, a junior at Penn State. 6'1", 191 pound, 445.40. These stats are taken from DraftBuzz, by the way. Harris looks like one of the more advanced technical corners in this class and has the prototypical size and speed required in the NFL to boot. You can see how he ended up as a corner rather than a wide receiver, though, as his hands are far from great, meaning he'll be more of a pass breakup guy than a turnover machine. And he is another who needs to tone down his aggressive nature a bit to prevent him giving up big plays and penalties. Any improvement in these areas this season will help his draft prospects. Now, number four, and this guy's got off to a good start this season, I know that. So when I come back to my October update, he may have moved up this list, but for now, I had him at number four going into the season. It was Mansour Delane, a senior at LSU, 6'1", 187 pounds, 444.40. Is a natural defensive back who has really good all-round abilities, although a bit on the skinny side and has a tendency to ball hawk a bit too much, which is a tendency in his class. And his desire to make the big play can sometimes lead to losing track of his man. But we'll see how like I say, he's shown up well in the early part of the season, and his stock's on the rise at the moment. So we'll see how he pans out in my October update of this. Right. Number five, Malik Muhammad, a junior at Texas, 6', 190 pound, 447 for his 40, is the estimate. Muhammad had 1 interception and 8 passes defended in his second season with the Longhorns. Whilst he has some room for technical development, he's shown the ability to play anywhere in the secondary, and that type of high-level versatility can be invaluable to NFL teams and will stand him in good stead come draft time. 6, Jalen Kilgore, a junior out of South Carolina, 6'2", 219 pound, 448.40. So a big guy. Kilgore notched no fewer than 5 interceptions in 2024, and as I say, is the biggest cornerback candidate listed here. and with sub 4.540 speed, he has it all physically. Those physical abilities have led him being used to a range of positions in the secondary at the college level, which in terms means he has become a kind of jack of all trades without quite mastering any of them. But for me, his upside is huge once he does, and if he can display that type of development in the upcoming season, that could give him a good shot at round 2 draft selection. 7. Dalen Everett, senior at Georgia, 6'1", 190 pound, 434.40. So another real speedster has decent size too. But as the case with so many of these young corners, needs to learn not to go after the big play and work on developing technically rather than relying on their elite physical skills. Any corner that shows they are doing that this season will impress scouts and improve their resultant draft prospects. But Everett is another one who, with the sort of speed NFL teams cannot stay away from. So he may get a round 2 selection regardless of that. 8 is Damani Jackson, another senior, Alabama, 6'1", 187 pound, a 4.28.40. Could be one of the very quickest guys at the combine across all positions. As I say, that 40 time sounds blistering, and that's got to be his best asset. But he needs to refine his technical skills to go with his size and speed attributes. But NFL teams tend to be like moths to a flame when it comes to speed. So as long as he shows that speed, a team will take him early on day 2, even if he does not develop his skills. 9, DJ McKinney, Jr., Colorado, 6'2", 190 pound, 441.40. Moved to Colorado from Oklahoma State for 2024 and thrived under the tutelage of Neon Deion Sanders. With Travis Hunter now in the NFL, McKinney may have to do more in 25 as we will be asked to cover the other team's best receivers more this season. If he can, he will stand a chance of getting a round 2 selection. So that rounds out round 2, 9 guys so far. That's a pretty deep class, but pretty thin at the top from what I can see so far. Round 3, and number 10 on my list is Will Lee III, a senior at Texas A&M. Big, tall guy, 6'3", 190 pound, 455.40. So tall, but not the quickest. Has the height NFL scout likes, but like I said, may lack the bulk and tackling abilities required to get out of round 3. But if he can show up well in 2025, late on to day 2 could be within his reach. Number 11 is Keith Abney, a junior at Arizona State. 6', 190 pound, 446 for the 40. Good all-rounder, has decent size and speed, an excellent tackler with good instincts. A strong 2025 could well secure a day 2 pick for Abney. 12 is Chandler Rivers, a senior at Duke. 5'10", 180 pound, 445.40. Lack of size could be an issue for Rivers, but he's a great athlete and able to compete vertically with receivers that are bigger than him. Physically, though, he gets out-muscled by bigger receivers such as tight end and is another ball hawker that can give up avoidable big plays as a result. Number 13, this guy's been much talked about in a variety of ways. Tacario Davis. He's now a senior at Arizona, 6'4", 190 pounds with 451.40. And if an NFL team is looking for a tall cornerback to match up against similarly sized NFL receivers, Davis will draw their attention. He's an aggressive sort, but is not the quickest in terms of direction changes or in a straight line for that matter, and can get a bit panicky when he gets in trouble, resulting in him giving up avoidable big plays and drawing avoidable penalties. If he can iron out these issues in his senior year, he will get himself solidly into day 2 of the 2026 draft. But he's a bit of a polarizing character because of his size and those attributes and that ability to match up well against big receivers. Some people love him, other teams see the downside. So we'll see how it pans out. 14, D'Angelo Pons, a junior at Indiana, 5'9", 170 pound, 435.40. Small, speedy, nifty corner with a rapid change of direction, but he is tiny for an NFL cornerback, and that could really hurt him as a draft prospect. 15, Xavier Scott, senior at Illinois, 5'11", 190 pound and 452 for the 40. Scott could make up into a good nickel back in the NFL. While he lacks the physical attributes of others in this class, his instincts and technique as a tackler are excellent, which is a bit of a weakness in others in this class. With a limited skill set and one that is not going to show up well physically at the combine, late on day 3 may be the earliest he goes in this draft, though. And the final one I've got in here is, and the 16th one is Davison Igbinison, a senior at Ohio State, 6'2", 193 pound, 432 for the 40. A big speedy corner in his 3rd year for one of the very best college teams. So why is he so far down this list? Well, he lacks a change of direction, and his tackling technique is far from great. His size and speed may see him show up well come combine time, but he needs to show improvement in those areas of weakness in gameplay if he's to be sure of getting into day 2 pick-wise. So that rounds out my initial look at the cornerback class as we are in the early stages of the college season. Like I say, once I've covered off the safeties and inside linebackers, which I'll do in my next piece, a joint piece on both of them, because they're two positions where you can see some interchange between the two. Sonny Styles might be one this year that's in that bracket. So I'll have a look at that one next, and then after I've done that, I'll have a sort of update for you in early to mid-October of whose stock's on a rise or fall, and whether any new people have appeared in the early stages come to prominence. So look out for that, and I'll give you a monthly update. And then after the college season's finished, we'll really start, looking at how this draft class is shaping up and how it might pan out, and look at demand from teams as well once we get an idea of the draft order. So look forward to all of that. That's it from me from looking at the draft now. Like I said, the next kind of this piece will be I'm going to be looking at safeties and inside linebackers. See you soon.